Hello, my dear students. Today we are going to revise for the final examination of our curriculum, Eng217. We're going to discuss 3 samples with their model answers, how that we can learn and get the most benefit from today's presentation. Let's start. We will start with reading sample 1, which will last for approximately 10 minutes. I'll give you a chance to read the text. Then we are going to move to discuss the questions. So let's start. You are just required to skim through the lines. You can take notes. And it's recommended that you can take a snapshot for the reading passage so that you can resort to them on answering the questions. So it's better for you to take a photo or take a snapshot for the passage so that you won't need to go back to the passage to answer the questions. Now let's come to the second part of our reading comprehension passage. Now let's come to the question section. Section A. And here we have to match the headings with the passage. And note that there is one extra heading. Now let's come to section B. And these are WH questions. And here I define the word reward. Reward means something that is given in exchange for a good behavior or good work. This is what's meant by the word reward. And note that here I ask you for your opinion about a matter. That's why I said in your opinion. So you will not find the answer of this question in the reading passage. Based on your understanding of the passage or according to what you can perceive from the reading passage, why did the 3 men of the Franklin expedition die at an early age? Any answer is acceptable as long as it is reasonable and connected to the subject matter. So you can give me any opinion once it is related to our topic. Let's come to section C. And here we need to define 5 words. And note that one of them is irrelevant. So here you find 6 definitions, and we have just 5 words. We have to match only 5, fill in 5 gaps out of 6. So one of them is missing or it does not have any word. Now, let's come to the model answers. And for section A, heading number 1, what did the British government did? It would match with paragraph D. Why Franklin went to Arctic? It will match with the first paragraph. What some sailors found? It will match with the last paragraph, which is E. What Franklin found in Baffin Bay? This is irrelevant. What Franklin took with him? It would match with passage number B. Who saw loss for the last time? It will match with the third paragraph or paragraph C. Now let's come to question B. What supplies did Franklin take with him for the expedition? Mention 2. And here we have a variety of answers. You can select any of 2. Food, lemon juice, 2 libraries, excellent maps, scientific instruments, musical instruments, a camera. Choose any suitable answers. Now let's come to the remaining questions. How much did the British government offer as a reward to find Franklin? 20,000 pounds. And this is the symbol of the British currency, the sterling. Here we ask about your own opinion. In your opinion, why did the three men of the Franklin expedition die at an early age? You can give any reasonable answer. I have found two feasible answers or logical answers for the disappearance of the crew of the expedition. We can say because of the severe cold, we can say that some settlers at the area attacked and killed them. Or you can, if you can think about any other reasonable answer, it's okay. Section C. Okay. So number one, to show that you can pay an amount of money, it means offer. Number two, an object used to help in work, it's not found. Irrelevant. To try to find something, someone or something, it means search. Something that has been designed for the first time, invention. Unusual or unexpected, it will be, it is strange. As for the final one, a journey for scientific purpose, we call it an expedition. Now, let's come to section 2, passage 2. I'm going to allocate 2 to 12 minutes. Here we have 5 sections or in the question part. So I'll give you 2 or even more time to look into the passage, to skim through the lines, read the questions, because it's longer than the first type of question. Here we have 5 types of question, and our passage is about a bridge wedding. Now let's start reading. If you can find any uncommon words or new words, you can note it down and find it in your dictionary. And here I have found 2 words which might sound new to us. That's why I'll give you a definition about them. Now start. Now we have two words. The first word is the word traditions, and the second word, which is called paper confetti. Let's come to the second part of our passage. And here it shows the change in the traditions of marriage in Britain. Now let's come to the two definitions. The first one is the word tradition. It means a belief, a principle, or way of acting which people in a particular society or group have continued to follow for a long time. We have another equivalent, which is the word custom. So the first word is the word tradition. And the second one is paper confetti. By paper confetti, we mean small pieces of colored paper which you threw at a celebration, especially over two people who have just been married. And this is a photo which clearly shows what's meant by the word paper confetti. Now let's come to the question section. Question A. And here, this is a new type of question. The text describes, and you need to choose only one phrase or only one statement that best describes the text. Two of them are close to each other, and one of them is totally irrelevant. So you need to take much care. And now let's come to the second part, or the third part, the WH questions. And as for the last one, I would like to clarify that it means, is this a religious, can divorced men and women remarry in a church? I mean here the religious marriage, because there is a type of marriage which we call civil marriage, which can be held in an office. So here I just I'm meaning, or I'm hinting at the religious marriage. So don't forget this word, in a church. Okay. Now we have also another section, and here we are required to match the definitions with their meanings. We have definitions and we have words. We have to match both of them. And as usual, there is one extra definition which is relevant to the 5 words. And now let's come to the 5th section. And here we call that the reference section. We have some pronouns which are underlined in our text. Let's come to our text to show you. You can see that we have this, his, they, and you are asked, as you can see, they are in italics. You are asked to tell us what does this refer to, what does his refer to, and what does they refer to. And so as to elicit what they refer to, you need to go back to the previous statement or the previous sentence so that you understand what they are about. So as here, the guests then went to the hotel restaurant for the wedding reception, and they, now we can, if you go back, you'll find what do they refer to in the previous statement. Okay, this is what we mean by the reference section or the reference question. And now let's come to the model answers. The text is choose the best summary. The text describes, we have 3 options. What happens on a traditional wedding day in Britain, traditional British weddings, and says how the traditions are changing, marriage customs around the world and in the UK. So which one is best describes the text? It would be number 2, traditional British weddings, and says how the traditions are changing. That's why when we came to the second part of our section, I told you here, note the changes that occurred in the British marriage customs. So here, as for section B, this is the true and false. Weddings in the UK are cheap and easy to organize. Of course not. False. They are expensive. As you can see, there is a reception. You can find hotel, restaurant, and all of that are really costly. Couples must sign a marriage certificate. Absolutely yes. They must sign a marriage certificate to legalize their marriage. As for number 3, a woman can keep her surname after getting married. And I mean by that nowadays, not in the past. Of course, yes. She had the option either to take her husband's name or she can keep her original name. When a couple get engaged, the woman gives the man a ring. Of course not. Vice versa. The man or the groom is supposed to give her a ring, supposed to give his bride a ring. Now let's come to the final word. The bride's father helps his daughter with her dress. Of course not. The people who are supposed to help the bride with her long dress are called the bridesmaids, not her father. Now let's come to section C. How old are most people when they get married in Britain? And here we are talking about the average marriage age in Britain. That's why we say most people. Number 2, on average, how many guests are invited into the bridge weddings? And these 2 questions are mentioned in the text. Here, at the age of 30, about 100. This is the expected number of guests who are supposed to attend a marriage ceremony in Britain. Now they ask, are bridge attitudes to marriage changing or staying the same? Yes, absolutely. Of course, they are changing. What did the guests bring to the couple's new home? Of course, wedding presents. Can divorced men and women remarry in a church? And as I mentioned before, this is related to the religious marriage. Of course, they cannot. They can have civil marriage in an office, registry office, but they cannot remarry again in a church. Section D, the matching section. Here, as with the man who is going to get married, we call him a groom. A celebration or a meal which takes place after the wedding ceremony, we call that reception. Something that you need to do according to the law, nothing. The woman who is going to get married, we call her bride. A non-religious building where you can get married, registry office. A piece of paper which proves that 2 people are married, this is we call a marriage certificate. Now let's come to the reference question, as I told you, but this can be lowered to 16. This is what went by the legal marriage. As I told you, we can go back to the previous statement or previous sentence, and that will help us understand what is meant by the word this. Give away his daughter to the groom. Here, it refers to the bride's father. And they had a meal, made speeches and danced. This sure refers to the guests. Now, let's come to the third one, which is really very interesting. It talks about 4 people who are talking about their dining out or eating out experience. We have to read and you have to answer the questions. Okay? Actually, I have highlighted some words which we are going to discuss. As you can see, we have here the word anniversary. The second word is the word dessert. And here I highlighted another answer. You can see this one, a burger and French fries and drink cola, which would be useful when we answer the questions. So take care of that. Now I'll give you time to read. You have 3 minutes to skim through the lines, and then you are required to answer the questions. And here, as you can see, we have some underlined pronouns, our, it, he. Later, we will be asked to refer these words, or we are going to ask it, what do they mean? What's meant by the word, by the pronoun our, what's meant by it, and what's meant by he. And also here we have they. So pay attention every time you read or have a comprehension passage of the underlined word. Sometimes they are just underlined, sometimes they are also in italics, and in some cases they are in bold. If there is no section in the question about definitions, you can find them in bold, you can find them in italics, or otherwise you'll find them underlined as here. This is the second part. So just skim through the lines, try to get the gist. Now let's discuss some of the new vocabulary mentioned in the text. Let's come to the first one. The first one is the word anniversary. An anniversary is really a day in which you celebrate something important that happened the previous year. For example, as we say, wedding anniversary. Okay. So the second word, we have the word dessert. Dessert is sweet food that you eat after the main part of a meal, just as pudding, for example. And we have the third word, the word vindaloo. And really, it's a very spicy Indian food. And this is a picture for the word in vindaloo. The fourth word is the word ingredients. And ingredients, by an ingredient, it's a food that is used with other foods in the preparation of a particular dish. So, for example, if I have a dish of mandi, what do we need for mandi? What are the ingredients of mandi? We say rice, cinnamon, cardamom, black pepper. These all are ingredients. Okay. Now let's come to question A. I know that you are brilliant. Here you are asked to match the questions. You have to match this question. You have to tell me in which paragraph. Paragraph A, B, C, or and so on. Okay, so just you'd like to tell me here. You give me the number of the paragraph. And here he mentioned that you can use the same number more than one. As you know, we have 4 paragraphs for 4 speakers from number 1 to 4. And here there is one of them, as you can see here, we have 5 answers. In this way, there is one that is repeated, one or more. Okay, let's come to the second section. And this section is WH questions. And here we have two questions based on your understanding of the text or the passage, based on your understanding. So this, when you can find according to or based on your understanding, it means that this is not really mentioned in the text. You have to elicit that from the passage and tell us about it. So here, as you said, based on your understanding, paragraph 1, how costly or how expensive was the meal? Do you think it's an expensive or a cheap meal? And here you need to guess. Based on your understanding to paragraph 3, why did the man drink 2 liters of water? Here you just to try to guess. After eating the vindaloo, why did he have to drink 2 liters of water? Now let's come to the third part. And as I told you, this is the reference part. Here we have 5 words: our, it, they, he, it, and he allocated where they were mentioned: paragraph 1, paragraph 2, paragraph 3, 3 and 4. And as I told you, to understand what do they mean, you have to go back to the previous statement. Okay, now let's come to question 1. In which text did the person go to a restaurant for a special occasion? Paragraph number 1. It was his wedding anniversary. And you can find here also in the last one, in which text did the someone eats a seafood? Again, it's number 1, because the man ordered fish in the restaurant, means that he ate seafood. In which text did the person visit an Indian restaurant? Of course, number 3. In which text the speaker is a student? Number 4. In which text did the person eat fast food? Here, number 2. That's why, if you come back, I highlighted that one. Burger and French fries and drank Coca-Cola. And as you can see, these are types of fast food. But if someone say, for example, pasta's fast food, but we have here, as you can see, we have steak, we have fish, which are not considered fast food. Okay, but here we have burger and French fries and drink, as you can cola, as you know, they are considered fast food. That's why I underlined. Let's come back to the question section or the answer section, as I told you. So let's come to the second one. Based on your understanding to paragraph 1, how costly or expensive was the meal? We guess that the meal was very expensive or costly. We have reasons. Number 1, they ordered different things, and the writer ordered fish, which is usually an expensive dish in restaurants. As for the second question, why didn't the person paragraph 2 enjoy the eating out experience? Because the food was not tasty. Number 3, how did the persons in paragraph 3 find the atmosphere of the restaurants? You can say friendly, and this describes the behavior of the restaurant staff, or relaxing, and this refers to the music which they heard while they were eating. Based on your understanding to paragraph 3, why did the man drink 2 liters of water? Of course, it's evident that he drank because the food was too much spicy. The vindaloo is really very spicy. Okay, which why did each of the classmates in text 4 decide to eat dishes that are not similar? Because they wanted to taste a piece of each person's meal, or you can say because they wanted to try part of everyone's meal. Now let's come to the question C, or section C. What do the following underlined pronouns refer to? Our refers to the writer and his wife. It refers to the restaurant. They refer to the waiters at the Indian restaurants, which played traditional Indian music. He refers to the writer's husband. And finally, in paragraph 4, it refers to the type of food or some kind of bread with the cheese and tomato sauce. Here we have come to the final step. I would like to thank you a lot. Thanks for your attention and hard work, and I wish you the best in the forthcoming exam. Thanks a lot, and goodbye.